Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Play. Today we're taking a look at Monsterpocalypse 2nd Edition. This was formerly a collectible, pre-painted tabletop miniature game from Privateer Press that pit sort of giant kaiju monsters crashing around a city, blowing up buildings, destroying each other, and generally sort of like having a arena contest on a fold-out mat. Now, it's gone from pre-painted to an actual like sort of miniature war game buy, build, and paint your own miniatures game, but kept the essence of what it was previously with a sort of like arena battler. There are one-player starter sets that get you everything you need to play. There's one for the destroyers, which are the bad guys, come to invade and blow up Earth, and one for the protectors, which are sort of like the guardians of the planet. Not necessarily human beings, though. The Planet Eaters come in the destroyer one, and the guard, which is the G.U.R.D. They're basically shield, but they're guard, and their emblem's a winged shield, and they're designed basically to protect the planet using big giant robots. So if you're a big fan of either the sort of classic TV shows of the 70s and 80s that pit giant sort of kaiju monsters together, Gojira, that kind of stuff, or even H.G. Wells' Mars, like War of the Worlds kind of things, this is probably straight up your alley. So I'm going to be showing this off today with Mike from Epitech Studios. He's had a huge, wave of success doing some comic style painting on these miniatures and has been featuring them a lot on his channel recently on his Twitch. And he's also teaching a class at Adepticon this year on comic style painting, all kind of based on his having a lot of fun doing these comic book models. So we'll be playing with the two star sets against each other. There's lots of room to expand, but I'm going to go over the anatomy of the card, the basic core mechanics, and then he and I will get this underway. So here's my Protector starter for Monsterpocalypse, the ultimate game of monster miniatures combat. And this is the guard stuff. So this is the Protector side, in which you get the following. You're going to get Defender X, who is a big giant guard monster. He's a mechanical monster, so you can see here he's just a huge robot, kind of in the tradition of things like Power Rangers, or even Voltron, those big huge things. There actually used to be a Voltron miniature. They had the license in the first edition of Monsterpocalypse, but the license isn't with them anymore. But yeah, no, he's a classic like rocket fist. You can see he actually fires his fists on rockets and they retract onto his body. You also get a trio of G-tanks, the guard tanks, and an elite G-tank. It's marked off by some engraved stars there in the base, and I painted a little bit differently. And you get a repair truck who's there to fix some buildings. You get some handy cardboard buildings. I glued mine together, but I also reinforced them. They're 40 mil exactly, so some 40 mil square bases on the bottom, weight them down, and also keep them from from tipping over, because they're a bit heavier then. You get all your cards, so you get your Defender X card. These are the big monster cards. They're all double-sided, because when you take enough damage, you flip to your hyper form. So you've reached my final form, like, what's that guy's name? Robert California. And then your elite and your G-tanks. And then your repair truck over here, and your apartment building stack cards. Now, the buildings actually play a part in the game. And when we get off of just what's in the starter set, I'll show you some of my buildings that I've painted up for my larger guard force. You also get 12 rubble piles that are either flaming or out. And this is what happens to buildings when they're destroyed. Their footprint becomes difficult terrain for stuff to move through, or also dangerous if it's on fire. Take damage when you go through it. And then you get your dice. These dice we were actually just using to keep track of how many units we spawn. They don't actually come in the box set, but they're just there for gameplay purposes. You get 10 action dice. These are used to control what your monster and your units do. And then you get 6 boost dice. These are the extra dice that you're going to get when you make attacks based on how good your weapon is. And then you get, I think, 10 power dice. Yeah, it's 10 power dice as well. And power dice you earn for a variety of things. Monsters can earn them with special skills, like some of the monsters get angry the more you hit them, and they earn power dice when they take damage. But you also get them for doing cool things like making power attacks and destroying buildings. So power dice are a really valuable currency because they allow you to make power attacks. And power attacks are cool things like picking up and throwing people. Just like all the wrestling moves you can imagine that someone can do, they're listed in the actual rulebook, are unlocked by getting and earning power dice. You also power up by various things, by securing buildings. You can power up by holding power points on the table. So like this is a power point, and if you have a unit camping on it at the start of the turn, you'll gain a power die just from like powering up. You get your double-sided map with Calamity Park. I can't remember the name of the other side off the top of my head, but it does not come laminated. I laminated it just to get the lines out of it, does fold up, and there are some rumors of sort of like cloth mats. I think in the Matt Wilson State of Privateer Press for 2019, they talked about some organized play kits that have some fabric mats and stuff in them too. But I laminated this one just to make it a little bit tougher. It's a very popular choice. I just did it at Staples, cost me like 15 bucks. And then you get your rule book. Woo! And this has all the rules for the game. You can see that that's the cover for the Destroyers box to get ready to rock and roll and play. So this is enough for one person basically. And the game is revolving around the number of monsters you play. So it is points free. There is no point buy for buying stuff. You agree to a number of monsters, either 1, 2, or 3. 2 seems to be the standard format. So like events and stuff, the Privateer Press does, the game night stuff, we'll probably be running 2 monsters. You also get to select up to 15, 20, or 25 units, depending upon how many monsters that you have. And they don't start in the game table, they just spawn. So when you're first starting, you're probably just going to spawn your destroyed units because you only have the 5 that come in the starter set, but you'd want to have 15 for a 1 monster battle. So Defender X here would be, what you can just do, and that's why we're using the little dice, is just imagine there's basically 3 of each. Or you could have, you know, less repair trucks because you probably don't need as many repair trucks, and maybe more elites sitting in your pool. And as they get destroyed, you do eventually run out. You can only spawn what's in your maximum unit sort of allowance. But that's part of your choice. Now you have access to any protector units or monsters. So you don't have to take the robots with the robots. Like the guard stuff doesn't have to be the guard stuff. I just like it thematically. But there's also the Son Syndicate, which is like the more Ultraman, I guess kind of Power Ranger-y stuff. It's like people that grow big to fight monsters, not robots. So this is like people riding in robots, and the more Ultraman-y stuff, and I'll show you one of them. Here's one of their units. It's a Shinobi. It's more like the ninjas who have like the Ant-Man suit and get really big to fight monsters. There's also the pterosaurs, who are Godzilla and Godzilla babies right now, and they're more the guardians of the earth, the monsters, the dinosaurs that grew on the earth, that are protecting it from outside invaders. So they get along enough that I guess they fight the battles together, and you can mix and match any monsters and units you want on the protector side. There is no, obviously there's going to be bonuses based on keywords for like certain things, like the buildings that the guard have access to won't affect like the pterosaur or the units from the other factions. So there is some benefit to being like mono faction, but if you like the protector stuff, you can ally it as much as you want in the great tradition of monster movies where that kind of stuff happens. So let's jump over to the anatomy of a card. We've done unit selection. Everything, whether it's a unit or a monster, tends to share some general things. You have a speed. That's how many squares you can move when it's your turn to move. Speeds can have a little icon there too. That's the like the unimpeded icon basically. It means that you fly in some way, or you can move over difficult terrain. The squares in the map that look like pools, you can't end on them or move through them unless you have that icon basically, because you're flying. Then you have your defense. That's how many successes someone has to roll when attacking you in order to actually do a point of damage. You have a damage track if you're a monster, which starts on the top point and moves down until you're destroyed. If you're a unit, you don't tend to have a damage track. You just take 1 hit and you are killed. So you can see here speed, def. You have a general understanding of those. Then you have your attacks. Brawl means you have to be in base contact to make an attack usually, unless there's some special rule. The white symbol is how many action dice you can put into it. You have to do at least 1, but you don't have to roll up to 7. You can put up to 7. It basically make a really big attack, make sure you hit something. And then the blue one is how many bonus power dice, or sorry, power dice, boost dice you always roll with it. So if I put 1 action die into making a Brawl Attack with Defender X, I'm always rolling 4 additional blue dice. Now the success ratio on a white die, like an action die, is 1 double hit and 2 single hits. It's basically a 4+ with 6 doing 2 hits instead of 1. The boost dice, on the other hand, are typically a 3+. So there's 1, 2, 3 single successes, and then the 6 is still a double hit. The power dice, I believe, are even more powerful. There's only 1 miss, 4 successes, and 1 double success. So they increase in power based on what color they are. And even just putting a single action die, which is your general activation currency, into an attack, getting 4 successes. You can see here with a defense of 4, I can make a single die Brawl Attack into a G-Tank and probably hit it, because I'm rolling 4 3+s looking for 1, and then 1 4+, and any 6s I roll are double hits, which almost halves the amount of defense I have to hit a guy and kill it. Blast attacks are the exact same process, except they can be done inside of that range. So you have to count to a square and have it touch the model. So Blast, he has a range 3, which is his chest laser, and he has a range 5, which is his cannon. And then he has a power attack. When he does a power thing, it's 5 dice maximum, and he gets 4 boost dice when he does it. When you do a power attack, you also have to put in a power die to do it. So then we have our special skills. So for this guy, he has disruption. Enemy models attacking within 2 lose 1 of their boost dice because he has like a disruptor field, basically like an energy field. He's mechanical, so anything that procs off mechanical stuff will work on him. And then safeguard, if you secure any buildings, when you power up, you gain an additional power die. So his whole team basically gains a power die when he is securing a building because they're the guard. They're trying to secure stuff. And then this G-Tank unit, he's the elite, so he's the leader one. He has aim. If he doesn't move, he gets a boost die when he does a blast attack. He's all terrain, so he treats rough terrain as open, so he can move through the rubble here without any penalties because he's a tank. And he's a commander, so allied G-Tank units within 2 spaces get a boost die when they participate in brawl or blast attacks. He makes the other tanks around him better when he fights. And that's the general anatomy of a card. Now, what happens, though, on monsters when taking up damage, like I said earlier, they flip to their hyper mode. So they get extra stuff. So for him, his blast attack gets beat back. His rocket fists like knock you around. And his energy cycle is that when he spends power dice, or action dice, when he hits, he gets to recycle an action die back into his pool. So it's handy because typically it's hard to have your monsters go twice in a row because your action dice, they cycle between the monster and the unit pile, which we'll talk about in a second. But his when he's damaged, when he goes into hyper mode, he gets to keep some of them even after he spends them back into his monster pool to keep activating. So when you lay out a game, the first thing you want to do is grab your mats, put some damage markers aside so that they're ready to rock and roll, lay your cards out, put your damage tracker down on your monster if you're only using 1, fill your dice well, so put your boost dice and your power dice in the dice well, and then put all 10 of your action dice in the unit pool because they start in the unit pool. So you can see Mike's Planet Eaters. These come in the Planet Eater starter. He gets 3 of these little guys who are called Belchers. They belch acid and are generally like evil and gross. There's he is a leader type one, so that's the leader belcher. Then there's a crawler, little power bug thing, and you get Gorghadra. Gorghadra is the huge, terrifying Planet Eater monster, and they're like space aliens wearing giant armored suits. So it's like a gold helmet and gold shoulder pads and stuff. He's generally a brawler, and he gets way more dangerous the more damaged he gets. These guys spit acid. He's the leader that poofs them up, and this guy draws power. We're gonna roll 5 dice for setup. And the person with the most strikes becomes the setup player. So I got 3? 4. 4 total. Okay, so that means that you will get to determine the placement of the first building. You'll also go first, and you'll be the person that puts down their monsters first. I get to choose the map, so I'm choosing Calamity Park because we're already set up, and I'm not flipping this thing over now. So you place your first building. Now, when we place buildings, they have to go on green squares first until they're all squared. These are called foundations, and we have to fill up all the middle ones before we fill up anything else. We each have 6 buildings, so they come in the starter. So it's pretty simple. We're going to go back and forth, filling each space until we run out, and then we'll have an optional one. So there's the center filled. I think there's one more.
One more there.
Yep. And now we can start filling the backfield if we want. So I'll put one here.
Right up front.
I'll put one here.
And
we're in the middle. So now we're deployed. So now we don't place any units on the table. They spawn during the spawn phase for units. What we do now is we put down monsters. You put your first monster, which will be Gorghadra. Gorghadra, that's right, yeah. And anywhere adjacent to the backboard edge, yeah. Yep. And I'll put down Defender X right here. Mike gets the first turn. Now, the action phase happens in 2 parts. There's a unit phase and a monster phase, and we always start in the unit phase. Now, the units have a 3-step process. First, they spawn, sorry, 4-step process, technically, because there's push. So first, they spawn, so you can buy units to go onto spawn points. Now, you have friendly spawn points. Mine are all blue, you can see here, and they can basically poop out a unit. So whenever you spawn something, you're going to spend it, or you're going to buy it with its cost. So it would be 2 for a tank, 1 for a G-Tank, elite tank, 1 for a regular tank, and 1 for a repair truck. I think your Belchers are 1.
1, and 2, yeah.
That's right. 2 for your power guy, or your burrower, whatever he's called.
No, it's Crawler. 1 for the burrower, but 2 for the...
Your elites. That's right.
2 for my elite.
And we have 15 units total, basically, to pick from. So you can start spawning if you want. You have 10 unit dice. When you spawn, when you spend them, they move to the monster pool. And they go back and forth the whole game, basically.
Start with an elite.
Cool. So he's going to cost you 2.
We'll buy the other 3.
All 3, yep. You have 5 spawns typically in your army.
Fill all 5.
That makes sense.
And
little dude.
Actually, I'm gonna change
move him. Yeah, because you want to put the power guy on a power node.
Guy. right there.
Perfect. Now there are unaligned spawn nodes in the middle, but you can only spawn on them if someone's securing the opener, basically, the little button that lets you do it.
You have to sit on the button.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they've spawned, now he gets his advanced phase, everybody can move up to their speed.
Yeah, and everyone here is speed 4, even the crawler. So crawler is going to go... And you can move once diagonally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's straight lines.
Otherwise, straight lines, yeah. And straight lines sideways, too. So it's not always a head. You can go side. You don't have a face or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go.
There. We're actually going to secure that, because why not?
And you can spawn out of it, yep.
We're going to secure that power node.
Yep, so when your monster activates, you'll be able to power up more.
Absolutely. And we're going to start racing him 2, 3, 4, up towards the power node.
Now, unless you have all-terrain or you are high mobility, you can't move through these swimming pools. They are all blocked. They're considered impassable terrain. I think you have all-terrain for difficult terrain, though, so if a building collapses and it's not on fire, you treat it as open. That's what a guy does, yeah, the crawler. All my G-Tanks have all-terrain, which is pretty handy. So if you've done your first phase, now you have the push step, or sorry, the attack step, where you can spend action dice to unlock attacks. Now for units, they can do combined attacks. Everybody that can target the same target model, you buy each one an action dice, and they can pool them all together into a single action, or they can attack individually if you want, using the normal attack process of spend at least one action dice, get your boost dice on top of it, and then spend up to their total power stats. So I think your Belchers have like a range 3.
Yeah, they're range 3.
5 actually.
Or sorry, range 5, yes. Yeah, they're actually pretty good.
But nobody's nearby, because I'm way back here.
I could have these two attack a building. That's
and destroy it if you want. Yep. Now you haven't secured any buildings, so you're not gonna have any power up in the power up phase, but you do have the ability to push dice now in the final step.
Push the rest over.
And so you're gonna do a monster phase after this. You're gonna put all of your dice in the monster phase. Cool. So now it goes to me, and I do mine. It's like Mike, I'm gonna spawn 5 units, so I'm gonna spend all. I need 6 dice to do so, because I have 2 for my elite G tank, 3 G tanks, and a repair truck. We'll put the repair truck right here, because it's gonna end. Do I want to do that? I want this power node, but I also want to secure a building. Yeah, we're going to do it that way. So we're going to put the repair truck over here. We're going to put the elite G-Tank up front, and then a G-Tank and a G-Tank. And then we'll do a far away G-Tank over here. It's the advanced phase. We're all going to move. The elite G-Tank's going to go 1, 2, and I do have a movement of 4. But I think I'm happy where I am. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I will. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so now I'm considered to be securing this building because I have 3 units in contact with it.
And they also all get cover.
And they also all get cover. That's right. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and take this power node with him. And that's my unit phase done. I am tempted to just hold on to more dice in the unit phase. But I will do a monster phase next. Oh, sorry, I have you to go as well. I'm going to go 1. Actually, you can go 1 diagonal, and then 1, 2, 3, which would be 4 total. In my push step, push all these guys over here. Oh, actually, sorry, I don't have to do that, because I do have some people that are in range to attack. So I do have 2 G-Tanks in range of this Belcher. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. Because you count squares basically directly, it's like an aura. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 squares away for him. So I'll spend 2 action dice to have them make an attack. This goes into the active dice pool now, and this is important, because when you do additional attacks and stuff, sometimes you need to count what dice you had. My G-Tank leader gets a boost die whenever he fires his gun. And then my tank gets a boost die because he's in the aura range of the boss. Now I can still spend my last 2 dice because I can boost each one up to 2 total, to take it to a total of 6 dice and 2 boosts. And I only get to attack once per turn, so there's no point in me not doing this to try and guarantee the hit. So his defense is what?
Defense 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
He's not super dodgy. So we're looking to get 2 strikes at least.
No, I think you mean
I get significant. I got like 8.
You could have shot down a building.
I shot him 4 times. So he explodes.
He
gets. So now you will have 2 more of his type in reserve if we're doing the this is 9 and 6.
Yeah.
These get returned now to the monster pool because they push over, and these go into the well. We're at a unit, so I get to put a power dice in the power dice pool, and it's over to you. So now you can have a monster phase because all of your dice are in the monster pool. If you'd left some in the unit pool, you could do a unit phase again if you wanted to. So you have a power-up phase. You have 1 power node, which is this little purple one, secured by your crawler, and then you get 1, I think, for being you. Sorry, he's remembering that he gets one when he's damaged. He doesn't get a free one for no reason. You just get one for the power pod that you hold. You also get one for each building you secure, which means you have at least 3 models in contact with it. So you're powered up, and now it's on to your action phase. Now, or your advance phase, rather. So you get to advance, and I think Gorghadra does an advance of 6.
That's right. So we're going to just march up to this building.
There you go.
And we're going to smash it.
So making a brawl attack, your brawl stats are...
My brawl stat is 8-4.
So you can put up to 8 dice into the brawl.
And I'm going to, because I'm just going to push him after him.
Okay, cool. And you're looking for defensive of an apartment building, which is a whopping 5.
And we got it.
All right. So normally you can only have 4 of each type of building. It's worth noting that the special rule for the apartment building is high density. There's no limit to how many you can do, which means you always fill your table with at least 6 buildings. So this gets destroyed now and is replaced with a piece of flaming rubble.
It is.
And that's damaging to move through, so you don't want to necessarily walk through that.
But I gain 2 power die for smashing the building up.
Yes, you do. And now you can spend your last dice by either pushing them or taking steps. For each action dice, that you spend, you can take a step, which means you can push your monster a direction.
And I'm going to push, or rather step 2 times. So move 1 and 2.
Okay. It's going to go laterally, actually, and just be next to the roll.
Just to make sure we don't...
Power up for me, I'm going to have 1 power node, and I secure 1 building, which will give me 2 more. And then Defender X is going to start moving because I have stuff in the Defender X pool. So now I'm high mobility, which means I can cross models as long as I don't end on them. And I have a speed of 6. So I'm going to go 1 diagonal, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't end on this though. So it's going to be 5 to there. I forgot I'm a monster, so I'm going to go 6. So that was, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 6 put me here. Now, before I attack, I'm going to spend an action die to make a step. You can step before you take an action. Sorry, before you advance, after you advance, before you make an attack, or after you make an attack. And I'm going to use it to move up here. So I'm into this line. And then you have a movement of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to be able to get to me unless I step back after this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to zap that little guy in that power node. So I have a blast attack with a range of 3. And I can count 1, 2, 3 squares to you. I'm going to put 3 dice into it because you're super easy to hit. And it gets 4 boosts for free. And we'll blast that little guy and get a 4, which will destroy him. So I gain a power die.
Splat.
And then I'm going to spend 1 to make a step. I'll step to there. And then I'm just going to wait. All right, so it's over to you. Now you have everything in the unit pool. Your monster's gone.
So we're going to drop 3 just to respawn the guys that got splatted.
Perfect.
Throw him here and him here. And then so advance. He's going to stay put. What speed? 4? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. No, I don't want to go that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite there yet, but that's okay. He's going to move up and secure this spawn point. And we're going to just kind of
combine. Your range of 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sure.
So everybody's in range of that lead guard tank if you want to shoot him.
We sure do.
It costs you at least 3, but you can add more to it if you want.
I can
so you
put
can go
in
to
up
6.
to 6.
Yep.
And because I'm probably just going to push dice around, we might as well.
Sure, there you go. And then you've also got a leader there, so they normally get, I think, 1 boost on the leader, but you're going to get 1 each of the other guys because of their...
So normally he gets 2, they each get 1, but then they each get 1 more.
1 bonus from him being there. Pretty good shooter, and you're looking to hit a 4 here. My guard tank is pretty easy to hit.
And just made it.
You sure do, though, and he dies. Whoop, which will square your power die. You have 3 left if you want to use them.
Sorry, I did that backwards. Hang on. That was the 3.
Yeah, you need to put the 6 back in it. You have 1 left in the unit pile.
Yeah, I've got
so
1 left, so just going to push it. There's no point playing 1.
You put it in the wrong pile. Fair enough.
Yep.
All right, well, this looks like
that didn't make sense.
This looks like I could shoot a building or something. I don't know. So it's over to me.
Yeah, you got to hit defense 5.
That's true. I have 5 dice in either pool now, so I can choose if I want to activate my monster, if I want to activate my units. I'm going to activate my monster again. So I power up. I have 1 power die from this power node. And then I get to do my movements. So I'm actually going to step before I take a move and go 1. And then make my advance and go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh, fire.
5. So I'm going to take a damage from the fire. So I move my damage tracker once to 10. And And then I'm gonna make a Brawl Attack. I mean to say I'm gonna make a Power Attack. So now there are a list of Power Attacks you can make, and one of them is to try and, I think, ram you. I'm gonna try and push you backwards. Ones you can do Body Slam, you can do a Ram and knock a building into somebody. You can do a Rampage, which means you run through a building. You can do a Stomp, which means that you attack like all the units and the terrain around you. You can do a Swat, which means you hit a unit into another unit. And then you can do what I'm gonna do, which is a Throw. So it'll always show you how your alignment needs to be, and you're going to use your power attack line. I'm going to put 4 attack dice into this. I have to use at least 1 power die. I'm going to use, what's your defense?
Defense 8.
I'm going to use 3 power dice, and then I'm going to get 4 boost dice out of this for free. So I have to hit an 8 with this total handful of dice. You know what? Let's just make sure this happens. We use all of our power dice to try and do this. So if I land this attack, I do a point of damage like a normal attack for hitting you. And then I get to push you 5 squares, either left or right. Or straight backwards. I'm probably going to throw you straight backwards, though, because you'll take 1 for me hitting you, 1 for colliding with the building, and then when the building turns into a hazard, 1 for moving through the hazard as well. And you'll land far away. So I'm going to try and throw Gorghadra if I hit this target number of 8. Let's see if I do. Oh, it's close. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm gonna land it. So you're gonna take 1 damage immediately from the hit. Then you're gonna move back a square.
I take 1 power die because that's what I do.
Because that's what you do. You power up that way. This turns into a flaming rubble. You take 1 now from colliding with it.
Yep.
And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you take 1 from moving through it. I'm gonna land you 1 back so you land on it, and that's how you take that last damage. Because you don't take the damage from moving through, you take it from ending on top of the hazard. Pushes my last 4 dice into the unit pool. And everything else goes back into the dice well, and it's over to you. Sure, you got 10 dice.
So we power up, get 1 from that dude.
Yep.
And we're going to advance. And I didn't end in the rubble, so I'm happy. And
you also just move sideways out of it 1, and then
hang on.
Because you go 1 over and then just walk over to me.
1 sec.
Yep. Actually, you go sideways. You want to align differently.
So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
That's just 5. Yeah, you don't have to turn. There you go.
No, but there's 6 spaces.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so that's my advance. So now I'm going to body slam you, which is rather pick you up and smash you on this building.
Yep, perfect.
All right, so I've got a minimum of, or rather, minimum 1, but I can take up to 7. I'm only going to use 4.
Now you're -1 boost dice because you're within 2 squares of me, because I am Defender X and I have the disruption ability.
So
I would have had an extra power die because I forgot about Safeguard last turn.
I'm normally 4 boost dice, so I'll take 3.
Yep.
And then not all the power die. We will take. What's your defense?
My defense is 8.
4.
All right, going for it.
Gambling a little bit.
Gamble a little bit. See what happens. You guys hit an 8.
I don't
1.
think so.
No, I think you did. 5. Exactly 8.
Woo.
Now in this one, you pick me up and you put me adjacent to you on either side. So you're gonna put me on this one.
I am.
And that's gonna turn it into flaming rubble. And I'm gonna take 1 from the collision and then 1 from landing in the damage. So I'll take 3 as well.
Yep.
So I go 10, 9, 8, 7. So you get a power dice bounce back because you destroyed a building.
That's just his rule. That's
a special thing that Gorghadra just does. Now the game's going to end when one of our monsters is destroyed. So we're both pretty damaged, which is pretty cool. And I don't get a monster turn now. I'm going to have a unit turn. So first things first, I'm going to spawn. I could normally spawn over the models that I have on the table here. I'm not going to because we're just playing with the starter set stuff. So I'm just going to spawn back for 2. My guard leader. And then these fools are going to move. And they're going to go... I can move a total of 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2 bonus power dice just for destroying the building too.
He basically has 3 instead of 2, not...
Yep.
Yeah.
My advances are all done. So I'm going to shoot these 2 are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and shoot this one.
Okay.
And these 2 will shoot afterwards. So the first 2, I'll spend 4 dice.
No, I do get cover.
Yep. So I've got 4 action dice pushed into it. I get a power die for the guard tank commander and then a power die for his bonus, his aura. Now you're +1 defense for the cover, which means your defense 3. So I'm going to get 3 successes.
And you did.
And I crush it. So I'm going to get a power die from that. These go into the monster pool, and then we're going to take the second units in the back, who are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're in range, so we're going to do the exact
you can only
same
count
thing.
diagonally once.
I can only count diagonals once, though. So this actually doesn't quite work. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I won't get all the way up. I get to there, basically.
Okay, so he actually wasn't shot then.
Oh, I can do it from these guys. Because I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, okay, so they're fine. Those
1,
two are fine.
2, 3, 4. But I can't go get to this guy because the way you count distances. Because you can only do one diagonal.
Yeah, because he can only do one.
Yeah, so these two have already fired and they killed him, but these two actually won't be able to fire now because you can never count more than one diagonal. Because I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be the maximum I could do. And we're going to push, and we'll just push the last 4 dice into the monster pool.
Okay.
And call the job done. Monster turn.
Yeah, so I'm going to power up for 1. And I'm not going to advance, and I'm going to body slam you, or rather I'm going to throw you at this building, or attempt to.
Makes sense. Put all 6 into the attack.
All 6, 4 minus 1 because you're nullifying whatever it's called.
You
and
got
I'm
it.
going to put all 6 in here because I want to make
Try and land it. Land that 8. You're going to make me hyper.
Yeah, there's an 8 there.
Yeah, so it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 right there. Throw me this time.
I'm throwing you there.
So that I land on top of it. Yep. Yeah. So it creates another hazard, destroys a building. So you get 3 power dice because you destroyed a building and you are you. I'll take 1 from the hit. Yep. 2 from the collision. 3 from landing in the difficult terrain. So 6, 5, 4 is what I'm down to. And Hyperform, I get energy cycle. If you roll 2 or more to action dice on an attack made with this model and it lands a hit, you can then move 1 action die from your unit pool to your monster pool. Now when I rile you up, you do super damage, which is real bad for me. So we're going to start off by moving. I'm going to... I don't want to take any more damage by landing in this stuff. So we're just going to move. So I'm in a pickle here because I can't move through this new one without taking a damage because you land me on only one of them. I can move through this one as much as I want.
On both.
If you land me on both, well, no, but if you land me on both, I can move away from both because I'm
right. But also, would give you more. You would take 1 more damage.
I don't know if I do. I started on this one.
Yeah, that's right. You're already on it. So never mind.
I couldn't take damage until I leave it, basically. Yeah. So, how do I want to do this? I think what we're going to do is we're going to move. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to take the damage, I think.
Are we doing across diagonals as safe? Is that...
Well, I don't know. I just don't think I have a choice here. I think I just go 6.
I would say you can come 6 here and then you're not actually stepping on one because you're moving diagonal to diagonal.
Yeah, but I need to align with you at this point.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a choice. And then I'm going to step. So I take a point of damage, step. And that costs me 2 action dice. I guess I have to end on it to take the damage, don't I? So I could step and then step here and not take the damage. Because it's if I end on it, I take damage.
Oh, so you move into it. But
move into it, that's right. I'm moving across by doing my 1 diagonal.
Yeah, the diagonals are a bit cheaty.
That's right, for the purpose of this. Okay, it's still 2 steps to get me there. And then I'm going to do a throw. And sorry, I forgot to power up. I get a power dice from this, and I'm securing the building for 2 more because of my safeguard ability. All right, so we're going to make another power attack. We're trying to throw you. It's going to whip you into this one.
Okay.
So that's going to be, I can max out at 7 if I do it this way, but I'm only going to use 4. Do 4, and then I'm going to use 4 of my action dice, and then I get 5 boost dice now that I'm all freaked out in Defender XE. Let's see what we can do here. So I have to hit a defense 8 still. We do. So that's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, I'll take my power die.
And then I'm going to throw you. I'm going to throw you 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, just throw me 4 then.
And land you there. So sorry, that's right. You don't move through things during a throw. You get placed there. Literally. So I place you here. You'll take 3 damage because you'll land in 2 hazards.
1, 2, and I'm
hyper, which means you do super damage now. So I've hit you, which means I get to cycle one of these backs. There's 6 in the unit right now. I get 1 back from my cycle thing. And I'm entirely tempted to just step away from you. So we're kind of in trouble if we stay nearby. And I do 2 monster turns. I might just get killed right now because I only have 4 health left. If you hit me twice, and you get to attack twice per turn when you're in hyper mode.
No, just so once. 1 attack. So you got 4 hit points.
I'm gonna risk it. It's over to you. You've got 10 dice in the unit pool. Okay. I'm gonna keep my 5 in the monster pool.
My last elite belcher.
Okay.
And we're not securing that anymore, so we'll just pop him up here. And we're going to advance. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3.
You can't go anywhere.
Can't go any further. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're not all terrain.
Nope. So the back guys can get a bonus to shoot. I think you're still in range with the other guy.
Yeah,
Counting.
so
Actually, no, you're not, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not quite in range.
Yeah,
with
he's
him.
not in range anyway, so
This
it's
guy
these
is.
two and this one.
Yep.
Can he join the combine? He's
Yep,
not,
absolutely.
Yeah, he just won't
it's
get,
just all the
he
same
won't
target.
get the Commandora.
Yeah, everybody gets the same target. You just won't have him in range of your elite,
All right,
which means
so
you
we're
won't
going
get
to
the bonus.
do. We're going to put in all 6 regular dice. We get to put in 4 boosts and 1 extra boost.
That's right, from the boss. And you're looking for an 8. Oh, geez. 1, 2.
Not quite.
Not quite. It's a 7.
Okay,
So
push the last
stuff.
2.
Yeah, push the last 2 of the monster. Cool.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to take another monster turn and hope I don't die. I'm going to take some damage here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and take another point of damage. So I'm going to land in that. Sorry, power up. I've got 1, 2, 3 for my power nodes. I'm going to try and throw you in a building again. Here we go. So I'm going to put all 5 into the attack. I'll use my 3 power dice, and I've got 5 boost dice for this. And I'm going to hit an 8 to try and land you, and I'm going to throw you into that building, I hope. I hope, and do 3 more damage.
You only have to hit 8. 9 now.
It's just 9 now, that's right. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, you.
So I pick you up, take a point of damage from getting hit, and then you're going to move 1, 2, 3, collide for another one, 4, and then 5 to land you in here.
So
and you'll take a...
one for the attack, and 1 each for hitting the building and stepping in some fire.
That's right. So now you're down to 2 left. I'm just going to push I'm not going to bother power cycling. Or if I did, I would just push them back in, and I'm into a unit phase. You know what? No, I will power cycle it back. Go for it.
I'm monstering up here.
You sure are.
Now that... No, that wasn't my attack that destroyed a building. Hang on 1 sec. You actually get power die for destroying the building.
Oh, that's right, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
get
2 power die.
For your power node, and you're not quite securing,
Okay.
but you do have 6 power dice. Here comes the power attack.
Yeah, so we're going to activate. And that's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take a damage.
Go down to 1.
Last hit point now. We're really gambling this here.
All right, so now you're going to try and pick me up and land me in here.
Yes, I am.
Which means I'll take a bonus point of damage from this, which would kill me.
So we're doing a power attack, so I'm going to put all 8 dice I have available into it.
All right. So
all 6 of these.
Because you're doing super damage, which means your basic
I took a
attack's a
damage,
2.
so I get another power die.
That's right. From walking in the fire.
And 5 bonus as well.
Minus 1.
Minus 1, so 4.
Thanks, so 4. So you got to roll an 8 here. If the dice don't betray you, I should be dead.
I think we're good.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Oh, it's gonna be super
There's
close.
5
4.
just on the.
There
There's
you go.
6 just on the boost die.
So I take 2, 1, 2 because of the super damage.
Yeah.
And then you pick me up and then slam me into this fire. And because I wasn't standing in this one before, I take another point of damage, and that kills me. And that's game because you
That is
destroyed Defender X. Although you had 1 hit point left.
yeah,
yourself,
that was very close.
which was about as close as you can get. As Planner Eaters do, we've leveled half the table. We've fought each other, and yeah, you emerge victorious, but only with a single hit point. So that's a starter set game. Now, when we play more games, obviously, Mike and I both have more stuff painted up. So you've got, what's this one? That's a Skyrise?
That's the corporate headquarters.
Corporate headquarters, and then you also have this guy right here painted
comms
up,
array.
which is the comms array. I also have a comms array painted up. I've got the guard headquarters, which is pretty cool, and I have an industrial complex. Which this one gives me bonus range to my blast attacks, which means his rocket fists would turn into 4, and then this one gives me +1. I think either power up or material, one of those 2 things. But I can deploy as many of my own buildings as I want. They don't cost any points. I can do up to 12 buildings, all unique if I want to. So as you start your collection, basically, you can start replacing the cardboard buildings with the nice pretty buildings, and the cityscape doesn't become so like homogenous. Now, also, we can mix up units, too. So in our next game, you'll see us playing with more than one monster. We'll have 2 monster games. And you can have 15 units in the table. Sorry, 20 units in the table then. Which means we won't be doing proxies and count size. We'll just be doing actual units painted up. So that'll be sort of the next standard game. What's your next monster that you have coming out for the Planet Eaters?
Forget what his name is. Actually.
Rothsgore? He's the shooty one.
I'm probably going to be. I'll be painting up a Cthulhu Garage before that, though.
Oh, awesome! So you have a mix. You'll have some of the
Planet Eaters and the Lords of Cthulhu.
The Lords of Cthulhu, which are the outer horrors, basically from the Lovecraftian mythos.
Yes.
And I've also got I got to get an arm replacement for him because he came packed without one, but it was Zor Maxim. I have to paint up 2 from the Son Syndicate. He goes with my little fighty guys here, which is my my shinobis. So you go into the game, Defender X being narrowly defeated by Gorghadra. That name's gonna stump me for a while. Yeah, and our first look at second edition of Monsterpocalypse. It's a great fun kitchen table game. One of my favorite styles of game, as you guys all know, is kitchen table games where you can set up, tear it down anywhere at a restaurant, a bar, and this one fills that niche perfectly. I'm excited to see more stuff come out, and of course, to see more games in the future. With us moving to the 2-monster format with 20 units, you'll see a whole lot more stuff come down. So I'm painting some Martians right now, Martian Menace for my bad guy army, just to play something different from Mike, and I'm also finishing up the rest of my Shadow Son Syndicate, and then moving on to Pterosaurs, so I have the full selection of new stuff for the protectors, and I can rep the good guys. But I can also split the Pterosaurs and do some. You don't have to play. I should mention actually, you don't have to play protectors against the destroyers. You can also do like versus games of either side. So it makes as much sense with the Terracon fighting Defender X, trying to destroy or save a city, as it does to have them like side by side and stuff too, because they are still giant dinosaurs from the center of the earth, prehistoric monsters from beyond time. So anyway, we'll see you for more Let's Plays in the future. Big thanks for watching. Till next time, I'm Ash. I'm Board Gaming. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.